Hello, everybody. This is Ashen here. I am an extrasensory psychic, shaman, qigong teacher, parts space coach, completion process facilitator, and parts work facilitator. And today I want to talk about manifestation and more specifically, why manifestation doesn't work for you and how people don't understand manifestation, how people get it wrong. And it's making a lot of people feel like, well, it's a lie. It doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. I just can't do it. And that's because you are getting the wrong information. And we're going to talk about what that looks like. The first thing is, why do people want to manifest things? Well, we're living in a broken system. We're living in a system where the healthcare, the financial system, the jail system, the environmental impact, how we treat each other, women's rights, awareness around our own sexuality and shame, all of it, there's like endless things in this system that are just broken. And we're living in a system where it's really normal to be struggling with money. It's really normal to think that money is hard, to think that relationships are hard, to think that we don't have to have powerful, healthy relationships. We don't have to have a lot of money. We don't have to have the good things, right? It's really common in our society that this is just normal. This is just the way it is, right? The reason that we're talking about manifestation is because we are starving in our lives. We don't have healthy relationships and we're starving for connection. We're starving to meet our own needs. We are unhappy in our reality because we were fed into a system that taught us to be unhealthy, that taught us to feel powerless to the system, that taught us to create lives that are not what we want to live. And we're pushed into this system where it's just normal to be unhappy. It's just normal to feel starving in your life. It's just normal to be struggling with money. It's normal to be struggling with your body, with your self-image, with your self-worth. It's normal. And it's like everybody is struggling and starving. And so, of course, we're talking about manifestation because we're like, please show me how to live a better life. Of course, we're talking about manifestation because we are starving, our needs are unmet, our system is broken, and a lot of our lives are very broken because we're struggling with these very real things in society and within our own life. So we're talking about manifestation. We're talking about, how do I get what I want? How do I create the life of my dreams? There's an entire community around it. There's a multi-billion-dollar industry around coaches and people teaching you how to manifest. It's this large-scale industry because people are unhappy and people are powerless. But there are so many flaws in this system when we're talking about manifestation that ignore what we really want, that ignore the greater issue. And it's not that we can't manifest these things, and it's not that we don't get to have these things, but we need to talk about the flaws in the system. And we need to talk about why it's not working for people and why people are getting frustrated. I'll give you an example. This man spent his whole life living in his parents' basement trying to manifest his reality to be different. And it never happened. When we're talking about manifestation, we're talking about, I want this one thing, or I want this different life. Like, we're focusing on this end goal. We're focusing on the desire itself. And some things that are wrong with the idea of law of attraction and manifestation is it's not very solid. It doesn't have a very grounded, solid foundation to the earth, to the fact that we're human beings in a physical body living in a physical earth. So we're taking universal laws that really are real, and it's like we're not applying them to the other laws that come with physicality and that come with the collective reality that we've chosen into to live as a human being. It is not just multidimensional universal laws, and it's not just the law of attraction mirroring. There are other ways that that law of mirroring applies to the physical dimension, and there are ways specifically that a human being with a human brain who has been born into this system the way it is going to respond to the law of attraction, is going to respond to manifesting things. And there's this whole industry that kind of, the way that it's coming out, it's like, oh, it's easy. Just every day wake up and decide to be this person. You just wake up and think these thoughts and feel these things. Just be grateful and feel joy. Just do it. Just go out and do it. Like, Like, go make $1 million. Go get rich. Just go do it. It's so stupid that you thought that you couldn't be that person already. It doesn't come off that way necessarily, but that's the general message. Just look at me. I stepped into my leadership and my ability to take space, and I stepped into feeling this way every day, and it was just different for me after that. It's this idea around manifestation that we have that it's flat. It doesn't work the way that we're thinking about it, because it's this idea of, yes, I'm just this powerful quantum leaper, manifester, and that's a thing. But most people are not in the mindset or in the reality where it can be this thing where they just quantum leap like that, where they just do it energetically through a feeling or through a thought that they're thinking. It needs to be a lot broader, a lot bigger. And it's like this flat version of manifestation that is like, oh, it's all about feeling good. It's all about becoming the vibration of that thing that you want in your reality. It's all about, meditation and feeling good. This idea that, okay, I'm here and I want to be here. I want to quantum leap here. I want to be this person with this lifestyle, with this relationship. And we're focusing on that end goal all the time, and we're focusing on the desire. So there's all these logical things that get in the way of it being that easy, and there's very real trauma that literally physically, somatically is inherent in your body, right? Your body literally stores trauma physically, emotionally, and mentally. We created strategies and fragmented parts of our consciousness, broke off, parts of our emotional experience broke off. The self that you call by your name, right? It's like your consciousness has fragmented hundreds of times. And what it is it's breaking itself and breaking itself, and it's breaking itself because we have these experiences that are stressful, that are harmful to us, that we can't understand, that we can't deal with. And what happens is our subconscious is very smart, and it's like, okay, well, I can't deal with this experience, so I'm going to take the part of me that just went through that experience and couldn't deal with it. I'm going to box it up. I'm going to put it over here. We're going to store it away. We're going to suppress it. And then we're going to keep walking forward. And then we do it again. And this trauma stored in your body manifests as physical illness. It manifests as physical pain. It manifests as physical experiences, right? It's a part of what you're manifesting every single day. And that's a huge reason why just feeling good and thinking different thoughts don't work, because there's all of this trauma and thoughts that have protective strategies around thinking that it's not in our best interest to feel good. It's not in our best interest to get what we want. There's parts of us that are convinced through a state of protection that actually continuing to stay where we are is in our best interest, and actually sabotaging that experience is in our best interest. I'll give you an example. If a part of us that literally is in our vibration, and it's a part of what the law of attraction is responding to, body is like this little girl that was rejected and abandoned. Well, no, she doesn't want a relationship. She absolutely doesn't want to go through that again. She doesn't really believe that she can find love. She doesn't even know what it feels like. She doesn't believe in it. Or we can have a protective strategy where we were shamed in childhood for wanting something. So we think that punishment and the loss of connection comes with getting what we want. That's one reason why this doesn't work, is we actually have to start working through the trauma, through the thoughts, through the patterns within us, and partner that with learning to have the opposite experience. So when we do shadow work, when we work on the patterns of these negative things within us, you can work with it with many ways. You can somatically move it through your body. So I work with shaking sometimes with my clients. I work with expressing that anger, expressing that thought, expressing maybe the little girl that's crying inside. Another thing is, whenever we're doing shadow work, our goal is to work through what's going on in that shadow and we're working on creating an opposite experience, a positive experience. So whenever we go into the emotions and whenever we dive into all of that pain, we always then create the opposite experience of what we had. And so then we're going into feeling the good feelings. And then in our everyday, it's going to be easier to step into a state of gratitude, to step into a state of joy. So the next thing we have to look at is the present moment around us. We have our past self, we have our present self, and we have our future self. And we have to work with all these different timelines if we want to change the timeline that we are on. We have to work with the past timelines that we're carrying with us. We have to work with what's currently in our present reality. What is the reality around you? And we have to work with becoming right here, right now, that person that you see in the future. What would that person be doing today? What are all the millions of things that she would take different action on than you're currently taking action on? And we can work with the future timeline by actually choosing to embody that future self and go to that timeline through energy work practices, through quantum leaping practices, to vibrationally actually practice taking ourselves there and to physically take that into our body each and every day. And we're going to be less resistant to that when we work on the past self and when we embrace the present self. So the present reality is like, okay, where am I currently? We have to stop focusing on what it is that we want so badly, what it is we desire. Not because you can't have it, you absolutely can. But we have to realize one thing, okay? The reason that we need to even have this word manifestation and getting what you want is because we were not taught how to get what we wanted. We were not taught to work with universal power. We were not taught how to do these things. And the core of that is that we have negative experiences around not getting what we want, but also we feel powerless. We feel worthless and powerless, and we're not used to getting our needs met. Let's say abundance is in the heart chakra. There's all these different levels and layers of lack of power and worthlessness, and the solar plexus is below that. And then in the sacral chakra, it's like lack of intimacy, lack of commitment to life, lack of receiving life. And then in the root chakra, it's like lack of boundaries, lack of survival skills, lack of feeling safe. So there's all these different levels and layers that are involved that go so far beyond just, I want to get this thing. It's like the reason we're talking about manifestation, the reason we're teaching on manifestation to begin with is because we feel powerless. It's because we feel like we don't know how to get what we want. So how can you go from, I have no freaking clue how to do this, to let's just work with the universal beliefs and constructs and the universal laws, and we're gonna just make it different, just this easy. It's like, right? This industry makes a lot of money for one reason. Yes, there's a lot of people that are in this industry that are making more money and they're rising, and the reason this industry is so good is because it gives you hope. It gives people who are feeling powerless a sense of hope to cope with life and to hold on to life. And they make this utopia idea of manifestation that it's this easy. Is we have to take total responsibility over our current reality. We have to own our current reality. We have to accept our current reality, right? And you might think like, of course I accept my current reality. No. If you're unhappy with your current reality, you're probably in a state of resistance, and resistance is not a state of an acceptance. You have to have understanding about the lessons and the gifts about why I was brought here, and we have to really let ourselves accept that, okay, this is where I am, this is my reality, this is what it looks like. Right? So we have to take responsibility, we have to find acceptance, and then we have to focus on slowly building our sense of power. Slowly working through our shame, slowly meeting our needs each and every day. Actually, there's all these different levels that are going to end up with you getting what you want, end up you getting that abundance, but you have to work on all of them. You have to work on feeling safer in your life. You have to work on the shame that makes you feel like you can't have abundance. You have to work on the fact that you're not meeting your basic human needs. You're not meeting your physical needs for connection. We have to start by feeling a sense of power just by learning how to love ourselves. So we have to start by, okay, well, how can I meet my needs each and every day? How can I take more time to relax? How can I take more time where I feel like my day goes my way in my current reality? How can I feel that little sense of power just by getting that, that one little food that I wanted? Instead of focusing on how big my bank account needs to be, how can each and every day I focus on receiving more abundance and focus on the power of choosing with my own free will how to create my life. Powerlessness is about a sense of being out of control with life. It's this idea that, okay, I can't do it. I can't make my life the way I want. Life is against me. Life is happening to me, right? And we have to see that it's not about that end goal. It's not about the abundance. You get to have these things. But we need to stop focusing on the end goal, and that we need to see that life is about more than an end goal. It's about an evolution over time. And there's a lot of negative experiences that you will go through in order to get that thing that you want. There's a lot of consequences to getting what you want that you'll experience along the way. There's a robust experience over changing every element in your life, every vibrational element, every physical element, every mental element to your life. I want you to think about the process of planting a seed. Planting a seed and watering it and letting it just sprout into just a little sprout that comes out, and then watching that grow into a slightly bigger stem until it's strong enough to actually poke through the soil. And from there, like, let's say it's the process of a tree going from a seed. It's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Its trunk is going to grow stronger. And then eventually, down the line, it's going to become a fruit tree. And the fruit is your desires. The fruit is what you want your life to look like. And it's like there's a lot of steps before that happens. And we have to start by accepting that there's a lot of steps. We have to start by accepting that it's not just that thing that I want, it's that my entire life is out of alignment. It's that I feel completely powerless in my life. It's that I feel out of control in my life. And this is the reason I'm not creating my reality currently. This is the reason things aren't good the way that it is. Right? It's a robust process. And it's about allowing yourself to respond to life each and every day and actively make things better, and to learn to gain your power and to build a little bit more and a little bit more every single day, and becoming that person every single day, and allowing yourself to feel a little bit more powerful, and to celebrate every step, every stage, to allow yourself to lead, to allow yourself to take up space, and allow the universe to respond to you through that. So you go first. You make the big decisions first. You make life more powerful first. You make life better and better first. Everything that you need to do differently is inside of you, is in your control, is in your power today. And the more that you do the right now things, the more that the next step things are easier. And so when we actually do the things and we actually step into our power and we actually make the changes, then it's going to get better and better, and life is going to respond to you. You're going to lead and life is going to respond. So manifestation is not about just getting what you want. It's about seeing that your entire life is out of alignment. Or otherwise, you would already know how to get what you want, and you'd already be living the life of your dreams. And it's about owning the millions of elements within you and around you that are involved in making your reality come into alignment, and living and becoming the person that you want to be, and owning that it's not just about you, it's not just your fault. This world is painful. This world is out of alignment. This collective reality we're living in is out of alignment, so of course you are too. You're in a broken system, of course you feel broken. We're in a system that doesn't actually respond to basic human needs, to feel happy and to feel connected to tribe, to feel taken care of and supported. We need to own the reality of our life being out of alignment, of being out of alignment with our power, of being out of alignment with a sense of control and feeling like I can get what I want, and owning that it's about actually making every single element of your life better and working on the whole system, the whole cake, one step at a time, right? You don't have to get overwhelmed by seeing everything that sucks and then being like, go back into powerless, there's nothing I can do about it. No, what are the small little next steps I can take to make it better until it feels easier? And if you really want to quantum leap, go into the parts of you that are resisting that higher state of emotion, that higher state of thinking, that higher state of abundance. Go into the parts of you that are stuck into trauma. You can do this through completion process or parts work. I offer both of these. You can also go to thecompletionprocess.com and find other facilitators that also offer this process, and just comment below if you want to hear more about it. I would love to explain to you what this is and how it works. I just want you to know that I'm sorry if a system of this word manifestation has made you feel more powerless, has made you feel like there's this fake story that they're telling you, because no, it's not received really the way that things work. There's a lot of action steps that we have to take each day in reality. There's a lot of consequences involved in our evolution. There's a lot of things that aren't all happy endings, that aren't all happy sauce, because we're living on a physical dimension and it's a contrasted one. It's a highly contrasted one. And so there's the good and the bad always. There's the feeling good aspects that come in and the celebration that comes in around every corner, and the not so good around every corner. And it's about holding yourself accountable and responsible to every stage of this, to every stage of this unfoldment, to every stage of your blossoming. If you want help with this, and if you want to feel more connected to a community who's also doing this, you can join my Facebook group, Lush Hearts Blossoming. I would love to have you there, part of the community. Post what you're going through in your process, in your journey to finding this alignment and helping yourself to create a different life and a different reality, and owning all the different elements of where your life is right now. I would love to support you along the way. So much love. Please check out my website, lushheartsblossoming.com, if you'd like to work with me, if you'd like to check out any of my services or offerings.